This is something I wrote called Fire in the Night. The massive front gate of Firekeep slowly creaked open. Through the entrance walked Larn, clutching his arm and walking with a slight limp. Inside his quarters, Larn gingerly sat down on his bed and began inspecting his wounds. From the corner of his eye, he spotted 2 glowing green eyes staring at him through the darkness. Larn leapt into a defensive position, grabbing a knife from his bedside. He trained his focus on the open window. The glowing eyes were still there. Larn heard the mysterious figure chuckle. From the shadows emerged Darkwolf, smiling at Larn. "You must keep your window shut, my friend," he said. "Many dangers outside." "And I just ran into several of them," Larn fired back. "Subhumans?" Larn nodded. "Some of them are trying to form a new army and take the castle. We will stop them together," Darkwolf said to Larn. "Allow me to look at you." Larn was startled by the request, but then remembered his wounds. Darkwolf approached slowly. He gently grabbed Larn by the arm and inspected his sweaty, dirty body. "One of them got a good swipe at my arm, but that's all," Larn said. Darkwolf reached into a pouch around his waist and applied a bandage to Larn's arm. There was a stillness in the air. "Princess Tigra?" "Gone until tomorrow evening. A diplomatic mission. Her father is finally letting her negotiate some of..." Larn stopped speaking as Darkwolf placed one of his rugged hands on Larn's bare, swollen chest. Darkwolf looked at him and smiled. "Good," he said. "Darkwolf, no," Larn said. "We cannot do this again. Last time was a mistake. If King Gerald were to find..." Larn's words were cut short again, but this time because of Darkwolf's chapped lips pressing firmly against his. He kissed back passionately, thrusting his tongue past Darkwolf's lips and into his eager mouth. Darkwolf grasped firmly at Larn's bulging muscles. His large hands made his way down to Larn's loincloth as their mouths continued to mash. Darkwolf tugged a few times at the strings holding the cloth together. It dropped to the floor as Larn let out a moan, his manhood now unencumbered by the burlap garment. It's long. And you're listening to all of it.
Oh, please, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted that to be subtext under you talking.
Suddenly consumed with lust, Larn grabbed Darkwolf by the shoulders and spun him around. Larn guided his member in between Darkwolf's thighs, allowing his hardness to brush against the warrior's dark, furry bottom. Both men breathed heavily, their impassioned sounds penetrating the night air. Larn teased for a moment more, then pushed on Darkwolf's firm backside, sending him plopping onto the bed. The green-eyed brute turned around and laughed. Larn sunk his hands into the sides of Darkwolf's furry garment and pulled down, exposing the impressive weapon between his secret lover's legs. Darkwolf glared at Larn intently. He grabbed himself, pointing his large skin club towards the evening sky. Larn moved onto the edge of the bed, slinking towards Darkwolf on all fours, slowly approaching his intended target. He kept his eyes locked on him until Darkwolf's hardened flesh was mere inches from his face. Then, in an instant, he opened his mouth and plunged the warrior's warm member deep into his throat. Darkwolf practically yelled in ecstasy as Larn began to vigorously slurp. He used his hands, dirty as they were, to cuff and caress his parts, doing his best to bring pleasure to the man who had saved his life. Larn felt Darkwolf pulsate inside his mouth, and he knew what was coming soon.
Glaciers?
His trained ears, however, began to hear sounds of movement from outside his quarters. Darkwolf's throaty moans must have traveled farther than anticipated. His mind racing, Larn decided he could not leave his friend and lover unsatisfied. He clamped down with more force, furiously bobbing his head up and down as Darkwolf grabbed onto Larn's luscious blonde locks. Larn felt the eruption of hot man fire in his mouth as Darkwolf moaned out in complete delight. The sounds outside grew louder and louder. Larn pulled himself off Darkwolf's sloppy, wet flesh axe, then quickly swallowed the almost overwhelming amount of hot love juice.
God damn it!
Darkwolf rised from the bed, but stumbled, drunk on pleasure and still very much rock hard. He embraced Larn and kissed him as someone began knocking on the door. Larn grabbed a bedsheet and wrapped it around himself. He looked behind him. The window was closed. As quickly as he had come, Darkwolf was gone. Larn moved to the door and cracked it open, being careful to hide his engorged man-meat as much as possible. 2 guards greeted him on the other side of the door. "Larn," one of them said, "we heard strange noises. Are you all right?" "I'm fine," Larn replied to the guards. "I'm perfectly fine. You must have heard the wind, my fine men." "Very well," said the other guard. You... "What is it?" Larn questioned. "You've a bit of, well, juice on your face, sir." "Ah, thank you, guard." Larn licked the warm juice dripping from his lip and smiled as he closed the door. The end.